Hey everyone, I'm Alan from Running Off Grid, and this is a short video on how to use an air abroad.
We're Alan and Sadge, and we live full-time in our converted van Apollo. We're road tripping our way through Europe, discovering what van life on the continent has to offer.
So for those of you who don't know, an air is something you will find across Europe, especially Spain, France, Italy. It's somewhere that you can park, normally for a designated period of time, 72 hours, maybe 24 hours, 48 hours, something like that. There's normally a sign somewhere that will let you know how long you can stay for. But more importantly, for everyday use, you've got your water, you've got your black waste disposal and your grey waste disposal. Now they're normally free, but they're not always free. So this one actually that we're at here, we're in Italy at the moment. This one you have to pay in euros, which go in there, but 90% of them across France and Spain have been free so far. So just to be clear, your black waste, that's your toilet waste. So anything that's come out of your body in a certain direction, that's your black waste. Your chemical toilet, your urine bottles, anything like that, that's your black waste. Your grey waste is anything you've been washing up with or anything like that. It shouldn't be large amounts of food or any kind of rubbish in that sense. It really is just sort of like soapy washing up liquid, maybe some shower water, something like that. Something else that springs to mind, it's very, very rare for you to put your black waste in the same place as the grey waste. So sometimes you'll look at it and you'll think, there's nowhere to put your black waste. Just have a look around the side. Sometimes there's like a metal cylinder or a tube kind of connected to this unit. However, very occasionally, there is only one drain. And you just have to make sure that you're careful and you're clean and you swish around, you know, make sure all the contaminant goes down. And just use your common sense really. But yeah, always kind of question it if you think that there's only one place for the waste to go. Just make sure you have a really good look around, speak to someone local if you can and just see. I have been to a couple where it all just went into the same thing. And it essentially is all going in the same thing, but it's just about making sure you're not cross-contaminating things and trying to keep it clean for everyone. Okay, so some things you're going to need for your air. You want to bring a hose. Very rare to get a hose, and even if they do have a hose, it's not always so nice. This is a food grade hose, but any hose will do. I think if you're filling up a lot, we live in the van so we're using it a lot. Food grade is good, it's a bit safer. Something else that's very important, a little adapter. Now, I've got a couple of adapters. That's a universal adapter. That will fit on almost anything, it's completely adaptable. And then this is just a standard European adapter, the ones you get at home in the UK. And then for us with our van, we've got one of these which allows you to lock the hose into the water cap. So that just locks into the filler cap area and that allows you to connect the hose directly to it. One thing I would recommend, if you're using one of these where you have to pay, a lot of them are done by time. So if you prep everything before you start, then you don't have to worry about your timer running out when you're not full of water. Something else we quite like to do, a couple of these water tanks, just a bit of additional water, so you can be off grid for a bit longer. So we've just got this standard chemical toilet. It's just a porta potty, very similar to the cassette toilets you get in motorhomes. Yeah. Normally use the green chemical in our chemical toilet, but people have been saying that you can use pods, like the laundry tablet. So we're going to give that a try this week. Of course, we've run out of green stuff. So. Right. So first thing to note with these, you always have two different water sources. So you've got your non-drinking water, and then round the back here, this is in a little box. They're all slightly different. You've got your fresh water. The reason that's quite important is generally not because the water's coming from different places, but it's because people are cleaning out their chemical toilets with the other side. So you don't want to touch that hose with anything you're going to drink with, because it is going to be contaminated with fecal matter. Okay, this is where our little friend comes in here. So you're going to want to screw that just onto there like that. Have that ready. I'm going to connect up our hose. connect up our other hose. Excuse the tangled mess. As I say, I haven't put any money in yet, getting it all prep ready just in case it is one of those timer ones. Sometimes it's done by volume of water that you're allowed out, sometimes it's done by time, so you just want to be prepared. So because getting rid of the black waste doesn't involve any of the water that they've got to pay for, that's probably the first thing to do. So, and this is not the most pleasant of bits if you've not want to use this before, but to be fair, it's incredible compared to the UK where these are hardly anywhere and it's impossible to get rid of black waste and it's really complicated. So you kind of learn to love-hate them. This little flap here, that's where the black waste goes.
Oh.
It's not always very pretty. I don't think my assistant here likes doing the black waste, but it's okay. What I would recommend, get yourself a little box of gloves so you can just be sure, because splashes are not unknown. I always put these on back to front. Right. So with our toilet, we separate the two halves. That's your fresh water in there. I say fresh, I wouldn't drink it, but it's your flush water. Give it a little squish around. That's actually really full. Top comes off. And in we go. Close that flap. Right, we're going to need some water now because I can't do any more with that until we've got our water. Now I've never used this one before. They're pretty good though, so use desired language. We're going to select English. Select operation. So sometimes you only have one option, which is just water go. This one has several options, so we've got your black waste and you've got your fresh water. So I'm guessing they're going to be separate, so let's try it. So we've got €1 credit and we're going to go with the black water. And then that should freed up some water. I'm going to risk it without the gloves for this. And this is why you definitely don't want to be filling up your fresh water with this, because look, we put it in there. It's not a great sign. Right, I'm struggling to make that work actually, so we're going to try with the fresh water. Let's see if we can get that going. Yeah, that's going. So it seems like this one is charging you per amount of water dispensed. I've just had to repress the button and it's used 50 cents. So I'm going to keep pressing it until it's full. As for this side, I can't make this work. It looks like it's not working, so we might have to tip out some of our water into that quite carefully and use that to clean our tank. We'll see. Okay, so that's our water, our fresh water filled up, and we've got 2 extra tanks of water in case we go off grid for a bit longer. Just need to work out what to do with this because we can't get it working. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm just going to use some of the fresh water from our tank and carefully pour it into this so there's no contamination, and we use that to swish it around. It looks like the water to this side with the black waste isn't working on this unit, unfortunately. If you do occasionally find they're not always very well maintained, we'll make the best of it. Okay, so that's all cleaned out now. We're going to pop some more water in there, just so it's ready to use. And we're going to try, as I said, we're going to try one of these pods, which is a bio laundry pod. See how we get on. Might be a disaster, but we'll see. Now the top half of our toilet's still got quite a lot of the good stuff in, so we'll leave that. Doesn't need topping up. Okay, so the last thing to do is get rid of your grey waste. Now, sometimes there's a separate drain. There's nearly always one you can park your vehicle over for your motorhomes that have your onboard, or a van I suppose that has your onboard. But we've got a separate little grey waste, so we can just pour it down. And then that's it. That's how you use an air abroad. They're everywhere, they're normally free, and they're absolutely superb. Thanks for watching. If you found it useful, just drop us a comment below, because I'm thinking of doing some more videos, instructional videos, because when we were starting van life, there was lots of things that we didn't know, and how to use an air was one of them. You'd see lots of vlogs of people using an air, but no one ever kind of explained how it works or anything like that. So for us, that was quite sort of useful to get that knowledge. So yeah, if there's anything like that, just drop us a comment, and yeah, we'll make a video. Thanks very much. Before we go, top tip, do not forget that you've got this attached to the tap. Very, very easy to forget. You'd be lost without it.